All right. Welcome. Hello everyone, and welcome back to Surrender Lab. Tonight is our Wednesday night. It's our fluid night. And what that means is today we're going to be focusing on our bodies. And we're going to be healing ourselves from the inside out. And that might sound a little out there, a little counterintuitive, and what does that really mean? Well, here in Surrender Lab, me and my partners, we've been working very hard on ourselves and our bodies and minds. And we've found we've rediscovered some techniques that have been used for a long time. And we pulled from so many different sources and various places to kind of get what we have tonight together. But really, it's all just about meditation within our movement. When we have, as we begin meditating, we start usually practicing just stillness, just sitting. Maybe focusing on our breath or an object. But as we, kind of learn to get more present, there comes a point where you're present sitting. So what's the next thing to do when we're tired of sitting? Well, we're going to stand up. And as we stand up, of course, we want to be very present of how our bodies are moving. Even when we're walking about, we're just going, throughout our everyday lives, we constantly can just be dreaming while we're going. And we're just, I'm constantly thinking about where am I going next? Just wandering. And never taking that moment to really sit or stand even and be with our present moment awareness. Right now, I'm just doing nothing more than just staying present and just kind of allowing my words to flow. I think I'm just going to kind of roll right into it tonight. I'm going to probably, I'm going to play a little bit of background music for us. That is hopefully being picked up. Check just in case. Lovely. So we're going to start out. I invite you to just practice presence while just standing. Most of the time we'll practice meditation sitting. But right now we're just going to practice something else. We're going to loosen up our definition of meditation a little bit. And we're just going to meditate while standing right here. Just like when we're meditating in stillness, I'm just focusing on my breath, observing the rising and falling, and observing the natural waves and changes of my emotions and thoughts. They arise and pass away. I'm noticing the micro movements in my body. I'm not really trying to push towards stillness because tonight we're really going to be moving. But right now I'm just starting right here in this standing position. Just letting out a sigh, a little bit of relaxation. And once we become a little more present in our bodies, what I want you to do is kind of spread your stance a little bit. Maybe just shoulders length apart, maybe more, whatever's just comfortable for you. We're going to start rocking our bodies back and forth. Very slowly. I started off a bit fast there. What we want to be doing here is we want to be matching our movement to our breath. Maybe at this point you want to move around a little bit more. Right now, we're just going to start doing a little bit of rotations and waves. Just starting to push a little bit on our normal range of motion. You know, most of the time we go through life, we kind of just go stuck walking, like kind of like a soldier, or, you know, we're sitting or lying down, but, you know, how often do we do, you know, just like, woo! Just a slow fun, just having fun with ourselves, dancing in life instead of just marching. So, you know, we're just kind of just playing around with that right now. Nothing crazy, just moving at all, just kind of feeling our energy. I'm just having fun. I'm not pushing it anywhere that really like is hard right now to like stand in. I'm just moving, kind of pushing, feeling what's comfortable. Where my resistance is at right now. Slow down, focus on my breath. I really liked this image one time, so I asked someone, how do I know if I'm feeling the energy inside of my body? And they said, well, imagine your hand. Imagine looking at your hand. Well, what do you feel right underneath the skin? When you imagine, what do you feel inside of your skin, inside of yourself? Well, you don't necessarily feel a sensation per se underneath your skin, but there is a presence. And that's kind of what I'm referring to when I say feel the energy in your body. It's just kind of feeling the underlying energy in between all of our senses and thoughts and emotions. I'm going to get down in this nice squat. This is what I'm feeling really needs to be started out with. So I started just by analyzing my body, feeling out where any of my resistances were, and then I just kind of naturally dropped down here. I love this as kind of I think of this as kind of a root exercise, really getting ourselves fully in our physical bodies. It's an exercise that can be very hard starting out. You just want to just rest and just breathe with it. Observing all of our movements. We don't want to be leaning into painful spots, but a little bit of resistance, a little bit of tension is okay. We want to be pushing into these edges. And I'm staying with my breath. I'm relaxing more and more. Even though I'm holding balance and tension to stay upright, I'm relaxing my body, relaxing my muscles individually. I can go down my whole body, I can do it all at once. It all really depends on you and where you're feeling like you have the most tension. In this exact moment, I feel tension right here. I'm going to stay with it. I'm going to even widen my legs a little bit. Relaxing into that spot and around it. You might be hearing a little bit of small cracks and pops. That's okay. It's our muscles freeing ourselves up a little bit from what we haven't been using them for. If you're feeling like you're just about at that point you need to stop and you want to get out of it, I invite you to push your limitations. Just take one more breath. Surrender, surrender, surrender. Push past our limitations, our false limitations that we believe we have. And you know, it may not seem like much, but staying down in a position like this for a long period of time, it really gives you so much inner strength. In between, you know, mental strength and physical strength. It does a great, this does a great job doing any practice, tension practice like this. It just strengthens what we believe we're able to do. It strengthens our physicality. It strengthens our mind. It strengthens our focus. And it strengthens our ability to surrender to the now. And it becomes more and more effortless. The longer we go, the more we surrender. I love humming and chanting. I've really been playing a lot lately where I'll hum in different tones and keys and I'll feel where my body is being vibrated the most by it. And that's been so fun when I feel like I have an energy center or a place in my awareness that needs some love, and I can just play around. And all these different notes, I'm still practicing, and I'm not that great, but all these different notes, they vibrate different parts of our bodies. I've been healing this gunk in my throat and sinuses. I'll hum like this. And I feel just the tiniest bit of vibration in there, in this inside of my head where I can't reach normally. And I love that. That's just one of those things that I kind of just ran into, and I felt like, wow, I didn't realize that I can, just with my voice, I can go touch all these different energy centers. I have all these bowls and such. But you don't even need any of these tools. It's all right inside of you. I don't think I've ever actually pushed this to see how long I can do it for. This is the basis, such a great start for any kind of movement or balance practice. My friend Ken, this is what he does the most, and he's so advanced. I've watched his body, different places in his body come together so much. I've watched him lose so much weight. I've watched him get more confident. I've watched him speak easier and more freely. And I think this is what I've seen him do the most intensely. I do a lot of different things. I like standing on my head. I like all the fun different poses and different ways to move and push around energy, but you could just do this, and you can work around your entire body. I'm not just working on my root here. I'm really just leaning into every part of our system. All of our systems are so deeply interconnected. Working on one part of yourself is working on every part of yourself. All right, I'm going to move out of this. You know, I don't normally stay in positions like that for such a long period of time, but I really wanted to surrender into that tonight. That, for me, that's really what I was feeling like I need tonight. I feel, oh my gosh, that was really just balancing. I feel so grounded. I almost feel heavier, but like, you know, people say they feel lighter. But like, I feel heavier, but like light, but grounded. It's weird. I don't even know. And I just feel so good just after doing this one workout for however long I did it for. And yeah, what am I going to lean into next? It's just, let's feel. What does my body want? You know, I like to go in order sometimes, but right now, no, we're pushing right in to where my body needs it. So I'm starting, just kind of flexing my core, moving my legs around. I can feel right now already we're going to kind of be leaning up into the shoulders. We're just going to do the exact same thing, just in a new position. And all these different positions, they put different pressure on different energy spots, and they allow you to really push on these places that we're holding lots of tension. You know, we can be walking around our normal everyday life and not even notice how much tightness we have all over our bodies. So when we put ourselves into these tougher, what's the word? Tense, tension positions, something like that. Stress positions. We're able to see these spots and relax ourselves around them. You probably see me playing around a bit with my movement, definitely not staying still, because I think movement is life. And even when we push into these positions, we're still constantly moving. The breath is constantly rising and falling. The blood circulating all through our bodies. We have micro movements and emotions and thoughts constantly going. And all of them are okay. I'm not going to be able to hold this for as long as I did that other one. Oh my goodness. Oh. See, that was a bit reactionary of me. Let me try again. Anytime I really feel like it's getting tough, I go to that toughest feeling, that most uncomfortable, painful feeling, and I stay with it and I breathe and let go. Keep it all with my breath. Probably going to go back to that position for another moment. I feel like I can push that a bit more. It's going to take a moment to rest. All right, now flowing with my breath, one continuous movement. Well, almost one continuous movement. And still working on myself as well. That wasn't nearly as long, but that's okay. We're really wanting to be patient and gentle with ourselves. I started that off pretty strongly, but there's really no reason we need to be doing that if you don't want to. In a minute, we're going to go back to our core a bit. It's kind of just my own personal exercise. I've really been wanting to gain more strength in my arms and shoulders. So I think we're going to go back into this nice plank. And this is a whole different exercise. You know, it's very most tension in the core, a bit in the arms. And it's all just the same practice. We just want to be releasing and relaxing while still staying with our tension we want to stay in the pose. You know, I like to ask myself, what is strength? What is effort? We can really ask ourselves these questions, Especially with these, they have that painful muscle feeling and until we go to failure, but it's about sticking with that feeling and just observing it. Knowing it won't hurt you, your soul or your being, and just allowing it to be for a moment. You can probably see my arm shaking. This isn't something I've been practicing a lot, but something I've been wanting to practice more and more. Every practice has different benefits and different usages. Maybe next we're going to do a little bit of back bending. I can.
How's it going?
Very good. How are you?
Alright. I'm a little later than I wanted to be.
That's okay. Started out with a nice deep squat. I was talking about you because that's how inspired I am by you.
Oh.
Just wanting to stay with our full body connection, staying with our breath, and surrendering all of our attachments and resistances, and relaxing into our current position. It's a deep breath. Again, I've always had trouble explaining, and I love doing like back bends and opening up my chest like this, but I've never quite been able to explain why I always feel like this opens me up more in terms of, my heart. I always feel like when I do this, my heart becomes more and more open, but I never quite understand, I've never quite been able to put it into words very well on why I believe it does that. I can talk about it being right here, and the emotion, center being right here, and as we put awareness on it, of course, it's all doing that. But I never really quite understood. It's something I've been doing for a while, and it very much is good practice. But I never did quite understood why this link is so linked to our emotions. Oh, exactly what you're doing, yeah.
So you're looking for additional words
Yeah.
on how to describe what it is that you're doing on the inside? Or?
Yeah.
Well, in my experience, I was protecting my heart, for lack of a better way of saying it. I was protecting it for so many years because it didn't seem like almost anybody could see me with full eyes of dignity. And so that protecting, like when you represent it physically,
Right.
it's like, hey, I'm going to protect my heart. I'm protecting. So by doing this, you just simply
Right.
going in the opposite direction.
Even more just not even
like,
just symbolic.
Now I'm
it's
gonna
like
just be open.
you are open.
But I'm literally going to pull this back and open it, and then I feel like energy moving and swirling in me that I wasn't feeling when I was doing this. When I was protecting myself.
Yeah.
And the more that I've done it, the more that I've got open to it, the more I just feel that it's one of those pivot places where, like, I have around this area right here, it's like no matter which direction I go, there's little spirals that come off of it everywhere, like almost like you would envision a DNA strand. They go from here and they go out in every way, and so as I get in there and I feel that all that tightening and all that resistance that I've been doing over the years, I'm just saying, all right, instead of being resistant, I'm going to be receptive. Here we go. Accept everything as it is. Come on, everything. Just accept it all. Accept it all. Accept it all. So it's part of, for me, it's just part of accepting everything as it is, and discovering potentiality, discovering all these things that I was limiting myself to before.
Right.
Just kind of just some simple words on it for myself.
No, that's perfect.
We could keep talking about it forever, but the words are,
Yeah.
they're all limiting compared to the way it feels, right?
That's definitely true. That's perfect. That's exactly the kind of words I was looking for. Because, when we do this, we're literally opening ourselves up, letting out the resistance.
Right.
Making ourselves bigger, more surface area, more places to be aware of and possibly, touched. So it's symbolic and physical, doing this. Open ourselves up more to everything.
I started understanding it so much better once we really started moving into understanding whole body connection in conjunction with it.
Very much so. We've been practicing for a little bit, so we kind of have a feel in our bodies of where we feel like we need to be working on right now. You know, it's natural for us to go into whatever position we like. But if you're really just kind of starting out with all this, I invite you to just be aware of your body as it is right now and find what part of your awareness is calling out to you the most and giving all of that your attention. And just relaxing and letting go of any kind of expectations of how you need to be moving or not.
Did you already talk about when you were approaching these edges, like just kind of
Lightly.
lovingly leaning into the edge, just really super. Like sometimes when we're doing this, I know that we go pretty intense, like especially on Wednesday nights with her. But I know, like I can also see inside of myself how that's sometimes overambitious, for lack of a better way of saying
No,
it.
perfect. Very true.
And the more balanced way to approach it is, hey, here we are accepting everything as it is, but hey, now what do we do once we get to that edge?
Right.
What do we do when we're there?
Yeah, I started this out.
Start to believe in choice.
It starts out really slowly and just talking about lovingly leaning into stuff, and then we started pushing into harder stuff. But very much love and gentleness is where we're going to get the most benefit out of this. Acceptance of where we are right now, where we believe our limitations to be, accepting it all. And then, from where we are right now, how do we want to go from here?
Yeah, maintaining the sense of balance while we still nudge. Maintaining our presence while we lean in just a little bit, no matter which edge it is. Right now I feel it in my hips, my right side particularly. It's kind of just feeling balanced right now, accepting everything as it is. But at the same time, I'm not fully satisfied with the edge I feel in my hips because I don't feel fully liberated there. And so here I got the acceptance of everything as it is, and yet I know choice matters. And so I'm going to choose to keep on leaning because I know from my previous experience so far that I keep on getting increasingly limber and increasingly strong the more I'm willing to focus from the inside out and elongate out my fascia, increase the flexibility of that all that interconnectivity. When I feel like my whole entire body is working as one, then my mind can let go of it, all its fragmented everything, and it can be at peace. If my body is feeling all disconnected, then my mind doesn't feel like it can be as one. It just doesn't have peace and full acceptance of. I don't see with full equanimity in those moments everything that's already happened. Like being at full peace in our bodies and in our minds is where I've learned that life just gets more enjoyable because we're so much more willing to see the uniqueness of everything around us, especially all the people that are just our equals. Everyone's my equal now. Definitively, like, there's not anybody on this whole entire planet that I don't see as big and bold and brave just to be here in this environment and doing whatever they're doing. It's all okay, and yet there's certain things that I personally don't feel like are okay, me personally. And so I'm trying to do stuff about it. I use it as a leverage point. There's nothing wrong with it. I'm not being morally superior. I'm just saying, hey, I've let go of that. Now I'm accepting of everything as it is. It's all okay, but hey, somebody's getting beaten up in front of me. Am I going to do something about it or not? There's lessons in all of it. Am I realizing that I'm the one that's drawing all this to myself or not? So what is the new skill I'm going to learn? What is the new information I'm looking for? It's kind of ironic that these nights for me, like especially when we're doing our Wednesday night fluid night, this is some of the most selfish stuff I ever do. I mean, it could be seen as like ultimately selfish.
Well, by all means, working on yourself would be pretty selfish. Right. You want to look at it that way.
Now, how do you prove that there's anything wrong with the selfish act?
Well, purely because the better you can be for yourself, the better you can be for other people. So it turns the selfish act into an unselfish act.
Exactly.
By understanding your impact on everyone else.
Right, so I like to take and like bring it all right to the now here. Where on the inside of me is every single thing I could possibly ever project on the outside of me. It's also on the inside of me. How much awareness do I have of it? So when I find those edges, I'm not just feeling some like, oh, there's just my hip there. I'm not talking about it out loud because how do you put it into words when you feel like all of a sudden working on that edge is like bringing up this trauma that you went through when you were 13 years old or whatever, and you're just actually just willing to just finally face it and allow it to roll through all of its stuff, and you're allowing it to be a part of your balancing act.
Yeah, well said.
Sometimes it's not something that I've gone through, and mostly lately I've been feeling combinations of all of that mixed with learning how to become increasingly empathetic for what others have gone through. And how that affects me and impacts me. It was information I wanted all along, and I'm just finally willing to actually see it as happening for me instead of to me. So here we go, I got an edge. I'm gonna be honest about it or not, Ken? It's an edge. Am I fully balanced? Well, nope. It's right there. Feel it. I'm not balanced yet, so what am I gonna do about it? Well, lovingly leaning into it just feels like the self-healing thing. Well, it doesn't just feel like it. I've learned it definitively inside myself that this is how I learn how to self-heal. To let go, let go, let go of all those traumas, let go of the resistances, and be okay with everything, and then actually have increasing amounts of clarity to be able to affect everything everywhere.
If you ever feel like you're being pulled around by any of your emotions or feelings, just allow, once you notice that, just allow yourself to let go. Come back to the present. Come back to presence. Accepting everything. Damn, I just released quite the tension. I just didn't even know
Yes.
I was even holding on to.
Yes.
Really found when you just find those really, really tight edges and muscles, I really found that when you really lean into them, just allow yourself to stay with them when you normally wouldn't, or you normally shy away. Just relax, 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 relax.
Did you talk when you got started about the difference between stretching and relaxing into stretch?
I didn't talk about that. You want to talk about that?
When I very first, when most people started seeing me doing like weird stuff with my body, I could tell from the way people would have conversations with me that it seemed like, especially because of the way that I lived such an ambitious life, that it looked like I was ambitiously stretching. And I was sometimes, but over time I learned to value more, and I just continue to learn to value more, the concept of finding that edge and surrendering into the edge. So you're relaxing into stretch rather than stretching, getting ready for a, like you see people like getting ready for a run or something. There's a way to ambitiously stretch, which is extremely different than relaxing into stretch. One is a surrender activity, and the other one is, like when we say surrender, the words are all surrender, but like in the East they talk about yin and yang. Surrender is more like a yin experience. The yang way to approach stretching would be to ambitiously try to stretch. And in my experience, that has proven to not be as whole body beneficial and holistic than the leaning into surrendering all the way in. Accepting everything as it is, accepting everything as it is. Are you going to be vibrating receptive right now or resistant? Here's that edge. Am I going to resist it, or am I going to surrender in and see what kind of information it has for me? What kind of balancing it has for me? What's here for me right now? Am I going to be a student, or am I going to just think I know? Am I going to value growth right now, or am I just going to value my fixed individuality mindset more? And by surrendering into the reality of what it is, it just teaches us more and more and more that we're really connected to everything and we're having an impact on everything. We just haven't been as aware of it in the past as we are now. So that awareness keeps on growing. In my experience, just constantly keeps on growing. So I just keep on emerging into new understandings and new self-discovery that is all so helpful. I just can't deny it anymore. I have too much experience with it. Being in student mode, being receptive, learning how to vibrate right now in the middle of stretching as a receptive instead of resistant. And the edge, you just watch it just transform. You just watch it goes from the place of fixed to like, wow, like I'm more limber than I was a few minutes ago. That just keeps on going, keeps on going. Makes us more overall balanced, bigger lover of ourselves and therefore everything else.
That's beautiful, Ken. Thank you for letting those words flow.
Never.
Well, let me take the last few minutes. I think just to meditate in stillness. Coming back from all our movement, back into balance. No, we never really left balance. Back into stillness. And just like we've been doing the whole night with our movement, we're surrendering and letting go to the present moment. In this, for a moment, we're coming back into stillness. To to observe how our bodies have changed, our minds and emotions, from this nice little session we've done for ourselves. Taking a moment to once again just let go of everything, all of our expectations and things we gathered even in this session. Just letting it all go, giving it away to the present moment. A beautiful moment to enjoy the I am, the feeling, the knowing, the awareness. Words are all limiting, but thank you so much for taking this time tonight to work on yourself, to give yourself some true unconditional love that you want to express for yourself and the world.
Thank you so much, Ash.
Thank you.
Love you, buddy.
Love you too.
It feels so good.
I feel amazing. What a wonderful session. Thank you everyone online for joining us. Our viewership's going up quite a bit right now, so I know I'm talking to a couple people. So thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Love you so much.
Love you. So much more to come. Everything's getting ready to change pretty dramatically around here. Stay tuned.
Stay tuned.